I am falling for my boss and uyababa. She's in her late 40s.
Good,
yes,
workplace shandis. Okay.
Workplace.
emsebenzini
No.
it's just awkward cabanga sowukwatile lapha uStefano Demara ulapha ukudikile
Stefano Demir.
oh yeah
I once dated at work, but it had to end in tears. Ngoba ukujola kwami nalo muntu lo mengijola naye, my boss, which was a guy apparently in this situation, had a crush on the girl I was dating.
But see, if you find someone attractive at work, it's not a crush, it's just too much time spent
Yeah.
together. It's not real.
And
It's
the
just
bed.
you're always
Good
here. So I could develop something merely because you're there. If that's the case, then nah. But if it's real,
Yeah.
I mean, the guy could actually have legitimate feelings for this person.
I rise, I fight, I win. What? Dark days can't hold me in. No change.
Welcome. It's another episode. Another episode.
Why am I laughing?
Why are you laughing?
I don't know.
All right. No, guys, welcome. Thanks for coming in for another episode. Clearly, the episodes that we've been recorded, people will want more. So we're going to keep on giving them more. Welcome, guys, to the podcast. How are you doing? Ken wasmela kangaka ngicela ngawe njani?
I know. I'm happy that we're shooting another episode, so we're here. So that's what I'm excited about.
All right.
I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the audience. So because of that, Siamo.
No, that's what's up. So, guys, if you're unfamiliar with how we usually run the podcast, we've got so many segments built to entertain you guys, to entertain everybody. We have a conversation amongst each other. We judge each other. We give some critical feedback on so many topics. We've got the Matota Please Help section where you guys write to us and you tell us your issues. And we laugh at you a little bit, but we also try to address some of your issues. We've got the check-in, and the check-in happens at the beginning, but the check-in is really intended to, get the emotions out of guys. I think guys go through life, go through their days, go through their weeks without tapping into, things that either made them happy, made them sad, made them feel in a particular way. So the first segment is really rooted in trying to figure out and getting guys to express their emotions, So when I ask you guys how you guys are feeling, I really want you to dig deep, and for everybody to practice that kind of behavior who's watching us to ask your guy, ask the man in your life, how you doing, how you feeling, are you happy, are you sad, scala kancane before you ask the complex questions that you ladies you have to ask. And then we go to the be a man, the manly topic of the day, and we've got some very, very interesting topics namhlanje. So without further ado, I'll start with because I'm a gentleman, with the lady, and ask, so how has your week been? How are you feeling? What made you sad? What made you happy today? This week, that is.
I'm always happy, like I said. So I linger between happy and angry. There's no sad. But it's been a good week. Yeah. I can't complain. I'm alive. That's matter.
All right.
Nazo.
Kenzo,
Mina ngimnandi.
yini ekujabulisile njalo?
Mina into engijabulisile too. This week was a productive week because I was doing an apartment search, which was like an interesting journey for me. So yeah, that's what has been keeping me so excited, because I know what I want. So yeah, other than that, I'm excited to be here. So I'm
That's nice, Njani.
Yeah.
So the apartment is for you, not for the other gender.
No,
It's
for me. It's for me.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
I know. Easy.
Nice. All that. And you, Mr. Matela?
Yeah. Actually, today I'll say I felt indifferent this week. I had a lot of mixed emotions, but nothing that said,
We need different Njani. Just
Indifferent.
for our listeners.
why wish you Anja? Why?
My feelings.
Look, I didn't have any peak. I don't have a peak of sadness, peak of joy. I felt a bit numb is probably a bad term, but yeah, I did feel a bit. It was just, I was flowing through the week. I was just moving along. Nothing really caught my thoughts in terms
Yeah.
of emotions.
Mm.
But yeah, it was very busy. It was, for some reason, it was so busy that I had no time to feel much.
Mhm.
I was just, going through the week. It was just the week.
Yeah.
The stuff that was to get done, so I just didn't feel much, I guess. I don't know if that's healthy or not, but
No.
that's how my week was.
No, your feelings are resting.
They're rusty.
Yeah.
Will they come back strong?
They will come back harder.
Okay.
Harder.
No, that's good. I mean, our feelings can take a break.
Yeah, they take a
Sometimes, I
break.
mean, we don't have to be emotional all the time. So if they need to take a break, they can take a break. Just that when they do come back, they mustn't come back overwhelmingly strong. Yabo. Singazi kakhulu kakhulu. Guys, we've got an amazing and interesting topic today. Would Matota please help? Nired.
Siredi, mfethu.
Niredi,
I wonder basiphatheleni.
Advice is sharpened up.
Straight into it. Okay.
So Machita, on Matota, please help today. I'm gonna read it out. Once again, it's anonymous. All right. E.T. And it's very short. So it goes, Matota, please help. I am falling for my boss and Uyababa. She's in her late 40s, but would give any man in her any woman in her late 20s or 30s a proper challenge. Please give me some guidance.
Okay. Okay.
Yes,
Workplace shandis. Okay.
Let's take Sandys.
No.
Matela, do you want to take the first step? Take the first step.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. So, boss, so that's upward. So he's got a crush upward. I say entertain. I say entertain. I know it sounds bad. I sounds bad, but I say entertain. I'll tell you why. In corporate, right? I don't know if it's very common. If you do not entertain a subordinate romantically, it's not ideal, especially if you're male. So if you're a guy, boss, and you attend to a subordinate who is female, it's more shunned upon than it is if you are female and you are interested in a subordinate who's male. So this guy it's less damaging if you are attracted to a female boss. It will just be romance. It's double standards. It is what it is. But if it was reversed, if it was reversed, it would have been way worse. But the fact that he's the male subordinate who's got a crush on a female boss, it's less of a bad thing, I guess, in terms of how it's viewed in corporate. It still needs to be disclosed because it is still something that corporate does try to shy away against. That's why you always have to disclose relationships. So you do need to, if you do get into something serious, you have to tell them to say, I'm dating someone I work with. You have to do that.
I mean,
But, entertain, chief.
he must entertain.
Let him go.
I was very shocked at your response.
I know.
But you
We're
know,
there now.
but as you were talking, I think it also highlighted something of like a double standard. I was like, okay, so if it is a man who's attracted to an older female,
Yes.
it's palatable,
Yes.
right? But if it's a younger woman attracted to an older boss who's a male,
Yes.
it's not palatable.
And more towards the boss. That's what I'm saying. If i.e., the boss is female, right?
Your boss is female.
So if she was to entertain it, then they go along with it, it's fine. But the latter, who is this? I need to bring, we need fact check. Remember the situation that happened now with the judge who had to go and defend himself?
Yes,
That situation,
Eastern Cape.
more common with males being the superior, less common with the females being superior. So and I'll give a practical example. It once happened back in the long time ago. So I had a female manager, and it didn't happen to me, but we're just chilling around, and she, when you can just do something like just pat someone, or just that same visual is way worse if it's a male superior doing this to a female. It looks much worse.
So did she pat you on your back?
It was not to my colleague. Like she held him like it was not even romantic. It was just it was not romantic, but it could have been perceived romantic. Man, I'm not going to how
Okay, yeah.
But so in that team, that when that occurred, look, it caught my eye. But I was like, it was not weird.
Yeah.
But I'm like, if that was reversed, because I knew that she was his superior and vice versa.
The judge was judged Saudi Benengi,
Yeah, that's the man. Yes.
Yeah.
and the girl was Andy Swamango.
Yes.
Yeah.
In that case, him being her superior, he had to go and defend himself.
And for the audience, if you guys didn't hear that, we've got an invisible fact checker.
Yebo.
If the sound is good, you will hear him. If the sound is not good, you will not hear it. But yeah, okay,
I think it was
that's the case,
direct
right?
subordinate. I could be wrong, but I think it was within his line of
Yeah,
direct.
So,
Yeah,
yeah,
but
that's
bona
always
la-
shunned upon.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Let me go to Diane. Diane, what advice would you give this?
Emsebenzini.
Yeah.
Hi, guys.
Boss wake hot, so hot that that she can whip it. The 20-year-olds and the 30-years, give them a run for their money.
Okay, so there is an age thing about happening.
Yes,
here,
is
ne?
there an
Number
age?
one.
Yeah.
Hey, garbage. But nonetheless, I just like emsebenzini. No, I'm sorry, I'm not for Mjolo emsebenzini, number one. But obviously corporates are huge sometimes, yabona. But generally, you don't get told to go jola emsebenzini. It's just awkward. Cabanga sowukwatile lapha. uStefano Demara ulapha ukudibile.
What is the fun of the math?
Oh yeah,
Oh, okay.
you know, uyakhe semsebenzini.
Uh,
And you're all emotional and stuff like so or ubhizi nomunye umuntu la emsebenzini sekuyi-triangle sekuyimese no.
oh, so is the fear that it's just too close?
Yeah, it's
And
just
if the organization
close.
is big and that person is not necessarily within your world, then go live your best life.
I mean, the organization is just like ngathi one stop shop nyana, but into encane in the mega scheme of things, you know. And yes, like I said, you get used to somebody when you talk to them a lot, right? So familiarity, it's not that like, you know, coming as well and always struggling financially now that I'm thinking about it.
Uban, uyanga boy.
Yeah. So bayaphethe labo mama base balapha.
Yeah.
Is wild.
Yeah, bayaphethe labo mama balapha. Strong. Like
Oh, okay. So,
Yeah.
so
so depending how high in the hierarchy this manager lady is as well, you could be in it to win it, you know?
financial reasons.
Yeah.
No,
When
but-
when ungasukile kujolo nomama omdala mara.
No, Marangitu yasho ukuthi
He finds her
looks like
attractive.
uyababa. Like she's hot and she just happens to be obviously in her late 40s. And maybe because she's a boss, they
My question still stands. My question still stands. Because emsebenzini umama wasemsebenzini. When wasukeleko uyozwana nomama wasemsebenzini.
Angabuzi phela mina phela.
Hey.
Kenzo.
But, all right. Hey, yeah, this one is a tricky one. Ne? I too, I think. And to have a crush on someone, whether it's work or outside of work, it's normal. Yeah, well, so the only difference in this case is that basebenza bonke, they in one premises, and the babonana, if basebenza Monday to Friday, that's basically Monday to Friday. In that aspect, ukuthi okay, kunomuntu okanje, which is in a higher position ngimfatelayo, it's a good thing. But it's a bad thing makube manje kuzoba into yasemsebenzini because umjolo unama dynamics amaningi. More especially if izinto ke manje asathi ukubonana kahle, uyabo? Kumele nibonane emsebenzini, uyabo? Yeah, vie. And leyo nto leyo it has a potential yokuthi nawe ingakhawatha. And I'm an inzima lena
Hey,
chief.
Kenny man, ukhuluma ngathi une-experience.
No, yes,
He's tapping into his
I'm saying this because it wasn't like a manager. I once dated at work, but it had to end in tears. Ngoba ukujola kwami nalo muntu lo mengijola naye, my boss, which was a guy apparently in this situation, had a crush on the girl I was dating.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
I'm glad you qualified
Yes,
that.
emsebenzini.
Got it.
Yeah, well, so due to that experience, it's a bad idea. Ngoba at the end of the day ngizela ngumsebenzi, and it doesn't mean ukuthi masiphuma ngeke sibone sizobonana, but inkinga zasendlini siphinde sibuye emsebenzini. So mina my advice to untanga ukuthi chief, phuma la ujolele ngaphandle, unless if vele ufuna a higher position, if uyaphayipheka chief gibela mara uzibheke, uyabo, ngoba it's not safe, more especially la isakeni lakho.
Yeah.
You're more at high risk as the superior than you are.
100%. The risk is on them.
Yebo.
The risk is on the boss.
And that's not the person that texted us. The texter to us was the "I've got a crush up."
Yeah.
That's who texted us. That's who we're referring to. The risk is on the boss. You know?
Yeah, it also goes like you spend like 8 hours a day, 9 hours a day, 10 hours a day as spanning. So it only makes sense that at some point you'd catch feelings with somebody. Right?
Yeah.
What?
You must fight them.
But
Fight them.
I agree. You know, there's some people that have fallen deeply in love, M17. Yeah, I generalize. Not
Listen,
just
don't
specific-
marry.
And it has
them.
worked successfully for them.
It worked out successfully for them, you know. But I think his dynamic is a bit dangerous, you know, because it is umpati umkhulu,
Yeah.
and he knows that he's not gonna. It's not a long-term thing, you know. So as a young person who's still building up, imali yakhe,
You wouldn't suggest.
no, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't.
Declare to HR and live your best life.
As yeah, well, guys, your soulmate is not where you think you'll find them.
Yeah.
What if it's real? Like it could be, and you're right. I mean, there's this one meme that I saw that it was hilarious. But see, if you find someone attractive at work, it's not a crush. It's just too much time spent.
Yeah.
It's not real.
And
It's
the
just,
maid.
you're always
Come on,
here. So I could develop something merely because you're there. If that's the case, then nah. You know. But if it's real,
Yeah.
I mean, the guy could actually have legitimate feelings for this person.
Oh, but
Us saying don't do it is just because of span. I
Mm.
mean, soulmate is with
Oh, I guess it does sound like you, and which is very valid, true. I think if it is about saying, look at your bag and say, okay, my bag is worth this, but then the emotion that I feel for this partner are this, which
With
one
Yeah.
is the one that is heaviest?
Yeah.
Yabo?
Yeah. Also, if they
Then
matured
go
enough
for it.
to
Beggars will
separate,
shoot you.
if they matured enough to separate between Msebenzi Mjolo. If you can separate the two, then this thing can work. And also you need to be mature enough to have that uncomfortable conversation. Ngoba nihlangana emsebenzini nihlangana ngepatini or epark or kuphi
Mariveni nayo iveni nayo yindawo yokuthola
Yeah,
abantu.
indawo kodwa yindawo yomsebenzi.
Nokuthola abantu.
Yeah, nokuthola abantu labantu labo bathola lapha abantu osebenza nayo on a daily basis. Yabo, so they more like abantu osebenza nayo, they end up being like family to some degree, you know, no matter how you look at it.
Charming
Yabo,
English.
and vele uyachameka na uthi haya boss akusho ukuthi la nyodla fresh, yabo. So
It's kaftin.
as it discourage chief, yabo, iyaspana sometimes, yabo. When especially a higher boss ngiyafisa ukuba ube pro wami. Usesiqoyini. So yeah, khuphuka mara ungazibhayizisi ubhekisa kalakho than a relationship kakhulu. Yeah.
No, that's I think that's some solid advice that we I think that's some really good advice. Yeah, weigh it up. I mean, at the end of the day, I think you're a human being with emotions.
Yes.
But if you are just sticking to have fun, just understand, Uti, you know, especially like women who are older, you know, they've got fire.
Yeah.
So me when they are
Women that are out there.
Yeah, 14.
Why?
What about
so just make sure good you weigh it up you with your pros and cons, and then you take it from there.
They've got fire.
Oh, you can the way we got Trump's got.
No, hey, these things are very traumatic. Guys.
Traumatic. All right, I mean that's a beautiful segue. You know, discussing indaba zabo party, you know, hierarchies, superior, inferior, and so forth, nabafazi and that kind of dynamic. We've got a very hectic topic. It could get hectic, but it could be really, really fun. In our section called Be a Man, the manly topic of the day. So the question I have today that I want us to discuss is why are our churches filled with women? So if you go to let's say a Christian-based church today, whether yesintu or yesilungu or whatever the case might be, and you look at just the demographic, and you look at particularly the gender, you'll see good time, man. Cela bomama, cela bosisi, cela bantwana, amadoda ayabaleka. Why is it that we have so many women in church versus men?
It's gonna put us in trouble.
And I don't want to just say disclaimer, but disclaimer, right? Religion, right? We're having a frank discussion. We don't mean to step on any toes, but we are going to talk about it anyway because I mean it's something we're talking about
Out there.
Yeah. Kenzo.
lelula le. Uyabona? Lelula le. Guys, uyabona ukuthi uNkulunkulu akwazi ukudonsa amadoda esontweni, udonsa abantu abesimame kuqala. Yabo? And ilento le engiyinoticile because even my mom used to go to church, and then when I used to go to the church, there was a lot of females than men were. Yabo? Ngoba amadoda asetshwaleni. Yabo? I think yili sonto lethu elikhulu, and Saturday we don't have time to go to church. Yabo? So yibo labo mama la kumele bakhonzele umndeni.
What's the
Yeah, and yeah, serious stuff. Yeah, so Tina amadoda kuthatha isikhathi because it's not to say ukuthi isonto we are trying to run away from church, but we don't have time for church. Yeah, because you make time if you are also giving yourself to God. Don't make time to go to church because umangulapaya. Yeah, so reason why Tina sila.
So you mentioned so many things, but I think one of the first things that you mentioned was it sounded, you made it sound like a God. I'm not going to say a specific God, but God works like a club manager. Uzati, ladies come in for free before 10 o'clock, and then Amachita going to be like, no, we need to be there because the ladies got in for free, and abokel baba so sizofika ke thina.
And uyangichaza nje we beke grand. Abantu abagcwalayo kuqalela abangena for free, it's gonna be women. Kuzogcwala bona cala before thina singena silandele. Yabo ngoba nakhona nje I think thina wedo amadoda kakhulu esontweni asikho kangaka unless you grow up in a family structure where mengiwe esontweni. So mawukhula njengathi nje ukuthi abathu esontweni ndo yalapha ngeforce uya ungafuni uya ngoba awufuni ukukhelwa ngaphandle until isonto
kuningi asekunyanya bona topic that one nyanya, you know. Why is it that there's so many women in church versus men, in your opinion?
Are there a couple of like, you know what Kenny is saying, guys, is not a lie. Oh, but either was considered hangover or well, maybe in old school context in a sense. Ubona bayazibuyela abantu ngabo 2 a.m. wena useyotshela ubaba ukuthi ageze esontweni and noma ungamfoster right ne ufike esontweni akhona nokala abantu embarrasse so because you even see it in parliament in essence. I'm not saying people in parliament are drunk, but laba fike mkhone balale lapha kind of thing, you know. So bakhathele babuye endweni zabo bafuna ukurelaxa Sunday, you know, you're fresh inyamulala kind of thing. So you know, or wake up to a fully cooked meal kind of thing. You don't want to be busy urasela abantu. So babalele number 1. Number 2, abantu babalekile. Yeah. So
what do you mean?
Like you left me with 2 children, and now, so in fact, somebody said, like Ajita said to me one time, Mati, abo mama kahle kahle bayothola pieces doing, bayolanda peace, and then I was just like, no, bahamba bayokhala because it's the only place where you can speak freely and not be judged. Like no ninking, no complain, you know. What was this complaining my sips you know? You know, there's a different way for them to vent, but church is almost like a venting place for women and ngathi support group. You think about it like that. It's not ngathi support group. So obviously bazogcwala lapha bazokhuluma inkinga zabo, and then there's those men that are open to church vibes, you know, like ababenkonzo, you know. Sebazijwayele le nkinga zalabo mama, and I almost said something offensive. But like uyabona labo bala besonto labo bala abanenkulumo eningi, like they like they have so many stories. They know too much. Like you know, you spend too much time nabantu abazela ukukhala la. Yabo. So ugcine so wazi ukuthi umkamazibuko siyamkhalela lapha. Usesontweni uyalila ulile ndube, and then just like it's a mess. Men would rather cry, sip. Yes, don't fast Wednesday. So like I think it's therapy, man. I just see it like that. Everybody's choosing their therapy.
That's actually a good point. Towards the end, what you mentioned there. So are you saying, I don't know if it's fair to say this, from what I'm deriving. But are you saying it's more of a community than it is a spiritual experience? Are women going to church to commune and be?
And complain.
Yeah.
Or really,
Is that what you're saying?
God.
What is and I don't want to make it a religious topic, right? But what is the reason that people go to church? Why do churches exist? Number one. Angithi ivangeli lithi go out and you preach etradini. So what was the purpose of having structures? Number one. You know, then you like, oh yeah, and then you have to now stay for like 3 days because, oh my God, these women have so many stories and things to cry about, you know?
Hey.
And it's like,
You realize only you can say that. Right? Only you are allowed to say that.
You can say
Like,
that,
yeah.
they're cool, palap, yeah. And obviously, as you would go to therapy, you're going to pay your therapist for their services, kind of thing. So because obviously you've relieved me of something that's so heavy and burdenous, right? Oh, I'm just there to be grateful, but it's still, happiness is also burdenous sometimes, and you just like need a place to go burst out to be happy.
I'm so happy.
Yeah, I'm so happy.
We're not editing any of that out.
So what if I mean there's two sides of the coin for this, and there's some really good points.
Yeah, it's fine.
You know, is there something in a man's DNA and his general composition that says, I am not one that easily submits to a higher power, that easily listens and gets guided, because in my DNA I would rather chart my own way as a man and figure life out myself than be told what to do. So, and if you were to go into a church, you are, as a man, have to submit, right? Because you have to submit, you need to receive and take guidance. But if you're a stubborn man, you'll most likely not want to submit. Because you will be, why am I to not see what, right? Because it's sort of like in your DNA to be stubborn. I think that could be one of the reasons why men struggle to be in church versus ladies who are accustomed to a patriarchal system where predominantly there's a man, God is a male figure, that will say submit, and you naturally submit. I think there's a psychological dichotomy there.
Oh yeah.
There's something that our invisible fact checker wants to contribute to.
Just want to point out something very obvious. The church was created by men in the first place.
The church was created by men in the first place, also, you know. So it could be that there's that dichotomy, which is the other side of why there's a predominance of females versus men.
Sizofaka i-definition ye-dichotomy la.
Yeah,
Yeah.
True. What's
So
your perspective?
I like that combination too. I really like what you said about community. I think that is something that would, so we as men will not commune just to feel and open up. It's not a community that we should do more of, but we don't do now. And that's the one thing that church has a lot of.
Yes.
But also say something that I think probably needs to be mentioned. To the point that you made is, if you grow up in the church, you find normality in the experience. You go,
100%.
you benefit something from that experience. You benefit something from that experience. So I think something maybe we can look into the statistics of, but there must be an age range of what is the age of men we're not finding in church. You will find young men. You will find very old men. The men in the middle that are working hard, grinding and building, those are the ones that don't have time for church.
Yes.
They are moving things. They're not going to experience something spiritual and deeper. They want tangible. When there comes an age in your life where everything has to make sense. It has to make physical sense. And spirituality, as it should, it's not that. It is not a physical. It's something. It's a belief. It's an unknown that feel that gives you peace. But there comes a time in a man's life where that is not priority. So there's going to be a time when certain gap of men, and then those won't be there, but busy. These are the busy ones. You won't find them there. But then as you grow older, you get to, as Maslow's hierarchy says, transcendence. When you're at the top and you're at peace again, you go back to church. You've done your building. Now you go back to, I'm here now.
So there's some research that I read on this particular topic. So in the States they did a study. I think it was called the Barnabas study, between 2000 and another period. So very frequent piece of research. But what it observed in that research was So contrary to what we are saying, that's in the US, right?
Yeah.
Contrary to what we are saying and what we're observing in our local context, Gen Zs and millennials are have a different composition as far as the gender that goes to church. So between the Gen Zs and the millennials, it's the men that are the dominant numbers of people in church. Females are not, right? And it was very interesting, and I touched on it earlier on. Part of the reason that was stated in the research that women are starting to not be church attenders, bayaphuza. Nabo bakhona on Saturday bayaenjoy.
Ile generation le ethi nami I can. Ngithi,
I can.
Yeah.
And that's a very very good finding, right? Because even in the research, so in the research it says part of the reason why women are pulling back from church is because they see a patriarchal structure that says women have limitations. The world that they've been exposed to says you can do
don't.
anything and everything you want. You're empowered. You're strong. So they get to church and there's a patriarchal system that says 1, 2, 3, woman, you are the neck, you are not the head, you are the whatever the case might be. And there's conflict. And at a principle level, they pull back.
So it's
Also,
just
to Nyanya's
conformity.
point, they're also out there in the streets on Saturday enjoying the bev. So Sunday they can't wake up.
Okay.
The question that I wanted to ask is that the research that you did, is it based on the US?
Yes, it's US based.
Oh yeah, because I can only base on a reality which is here in South Africa. If you go to most of the churches, you will find most women there. And the reality of Tina, more especially here in South Africa, is that most women go to church more than guys do. So I like the point that Drew said, guys are too busy. Men are too busy to actually be like, okay, because the only time that we get to actually unwind, it's Saturday and Sunday. If I suppose Saturday, if I suppose which I just want to relax, I don't want anything in that. But there's errands also I need to run, go to pipe pasti, like me Sunday. You understand? So I don't have time for that. And also, most men that I feel that they go abaya esonto is mostly men that who have accomplished so much in life to a point of which my Sunday is free.
Bayobonga.
Ngahamba ngiyobonga laphayana nomnikelo wakho uyabonakala uyazwisisa. So mostly guys on Sunday ngapha angidlanga khona ukuthi kumele ngihlanganisele for abantwana Monday. I don't have time for that.
Mara ngithi nabo mama, they have the same challenges. Ngoba bayavuka Monday to Friday.
Yeah, bayavuka, but bona they are more receptive to igama likaNkulunkulu more than men are, because Tina, we are more practical about things. I don't want to sit and hope ukuthi uNkulunkulu kusasa anga iplan lami lifuneka manje, not tomorrow.
Okay.
So that's where I feel ukuthi where men go to church and women go to church, women will go to church more than men will.
And I mean, you mentioned something really, really important, right? That we should mention is hope. You know, I think a lot of people go to, and I think that might be one of the nuggets. A lot of people go to church to hope for a solution, right?
Yes.
The biology of men or the psyche of men says, lungisa.
I don't want to put that, but I want to
lungisa namhlanje, right? Don't go and hope. You are your solution to your problem. So going and hoping for other things is counterproductive. Close parameters.
So are you saying that the men that like to go to church are there to get compensation for the therapeutic services that church offers? Because back to your facts checked finder, what
That's the
men started Isond, right?
Say again?
Men started the concept of church, right? And if men started the concept of church, then men obviously knew that the only way to milk Angsho by institution where they are said to be making money and obviously you're paying for it and you're going to cry and you're going to pay for hope in essence, right? And how also scriptures also written, there's ways to get that, even if it's not meant like that, but people will manipulate it the way they want to manipulate it. So because the illogic should like, are you saying illogic something or
don't shun church going.
I want to understand
Don't
because
shun church going men.
I need to. They are also men,
Yeah.
and they are in church.
Yeah.
So are they there to work, or are
Yeah.
they there because you
I-
know ihamba step by step?
No, I mean, I would
Yeah.
say, so I think there's multiple reasons why people go to church, first of all, right? Some of it could be honorable, some of it could be dishonorable, right? For across the
Like
genders.
finding a spouse.
Like
Yeah.
finding a spouse. I mean, some of it is you are really grateful to God for the things that He's done. So you are going there to be grateful, to contribute, so that whatever you're contributing is Wilanda and so on and so forth, right?
Yeah.
And then there's also the other side, which is not as honorable. And there's also another side that says some people are just employees at the church. So Lamato Talawas that are might be going to church are just regular employees. You're the sound guy who's been hired to do sound. You are a theologian who studied theology so that you can make income from this
From the structure.
the organization that you are then part of. So there's practical components to it, and then there's the spiritual components.
Okay.
And I fully agree with what you're saying to say men are the spiritual leaders of being themselves, households, or families, whatever it may be. We are meant to be the spiritual leaders, right? That's what society used to say. In order to lead, you must be able to lead me spiritually, right? And I think it goes back to the point I made that there's an age where you want to be a spiritual leader, so you go and learn. You just to throw this. We met at church, by the way. For those that don't think that's all, as friends, we actually met. That's where we met.
Serious?
So we have So we don't So
Not bad.
we don't have issues with church.
Hiya, G.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. I'll give it that. That's a good one. So we understand, but it was in the growing phase, right? Now to quote David, would see what women want money, right? There was a time when spiritual leadership was what was prioritized.
Yeah.
And then there comes a building time when to lead you spiritually during this phase of our lives won't help you or me. So it becomes something I no longer prioritize. I don't want to lead you spiritually because I need to sustain us financially.
Yeah.
So there becomes that little contention in that age gap. To the point that I was made earlier on is to say, we do go to be grateful. You need to have something to be grateful for. You must have grinded, got everything, and then be happy and be grateful for something. While there's nothing to be grateful for, church might not be your first stop.
Yep.
So I think it goes back to my first idea of there will be an age understanding around who's going to church now. And to the American, it could be that there, leading spiritually is still a priority because economically they're doing okay.
Yeah.
So you could prioritize, I want to lead my family spiritually because everything else is in place. And the other things are ticked off. If the other things aren't ticked off, trust me, this one of sustaining my household financially will overpower spiritual leadership.
Spend in the works. So I need to ask Vele, some churches are good and some churches are not so good.
Yeah.
Right? They are
According
bad.
to who? Nyashane?
by Kapazana, you know.
Yeah.
And I find a lot of the churches also then take advantage of Abo Mama, right? Because Abo Mama, the emotional. Let me paint a scenario. Emotional beings, right? Not that you don't have any practicality or logic. You are but you are predominantly an emotional led being.
Yes.
You go with heightened emotion to a place that leverages emotion, right?
Feeds it.
Creates emotion, an ambience of emotion where you're able to connect with God, connect with the pastor, connect with the people. There's always like a rush of emotion, you know? And in that emotional stroke, spiritual space, there's a thin line of exploitation that usually happens, where they then papaza predominantly abo mom, right? Men are there also, but predominantly because they're the dominant people in cleaning in the house or in the church. Bantateli mali, all these lovely things. Big Daddy. Who's that pastor they call him? Daddy.
Big Daddy.
Yeah, Big Daddy. I remembered, man. It's not Big Daddy. It's Major One. The guy was Major One. But what I was trying to get to was, is it that women are being exploited and targeted in churches because of their emotional disposition in a spiritual realm?
But that's what I was saying. Like I was trying to say that somebody in the logical space figured out that that's the place where I'm gonna kill. Because like I was saying, if a man is a spiritual leader of a household and there's I'm a single woman, I'm a as well at church, if you think about it like that, right? So, in the absence of one spiritual leader, khona lo logic yakhe izothi ting 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 ting, and then also things about spiritual leadership as a man. And if you think about it like that, patriarchy is pushed by who? Women. They are the ones that enforce it and make sure that it stays. You know, it's not the Zulu daddies that are saying it's the Zulu mamas. If you get married into a very traditional or Xhosa, for instance, those mamas that give you the rules of how the men of their family must be treated. So if your logic as a man, you've decided to go to, oh, okay, ngihamba ngiyotohara esontweni. Ngizowabamba laba. That's what I've been saying the whole time. It's like it's a form of manipulation, maybe for some, where people are being sprayed with things and they are, they're being doomed at church. The name of the name. Yeah.
Doomed at
They're
church.
doomed at
Oh, I mean, yeah, I mean, it ties up theoretically, and obviously it's just an observation and assumption. It's not general, not all churches, but I do agree with you. Khona bayoganga vele lapha esontweni.
Yeah.
And vele our, just like you said, Ken, umsebenzi isonto lethu studying for like, well,
Yeah.
like God is in the paths, and like I said earlier on, men are logical creatures. So if you're going to be in a space where Abu Mama come in abundance, they work, B is pushing things, women affirmative, all that lovely stuff, right? And we've got women that are powerful, capable, that submit and are willing to give money and be led. And then when a dishonorable leader, uzoyidla le mali.
Okay.
And then abo futhi angeke ubayeke.
So, in essence, to the point that you also made there, Diane. It feels weird saying that name, Diane. Nyani. So, you're saying the reason why there's more women at church is because they're them wanting to be led. I mean, this is an understanding that women want to not follow per se, but they want to lead. They want someone to be. We're gonna pause there. We're gonna leave that. I can't say the word accountable.
What is the word that you want to say?
It's accountable. It's gonna be a deadly one.
Could it be that women, because you're asking the question, could it be that women are
Even my safety was like, these niggas are still recording. I almost say shit.
How you mean
I
it?
almost say shit.
Ask it how you mean it.
I wanted to say still be led, so they're switching.
maybe say,
Yeah.
could it
Ask
be
it how
that?
you mean it.
Okay, so could it be that since we understand it that women want to be led, they want to, not that they are followers ideally, but they want to be led. They want someone else to depend on, right? Could it be that we've replaced, for example, they go to church more because they still have that elsewhere? So I can depend on something else. I can be led by another system. So they're more, they'll go there because I still have that feeling here. There's something above me. I'm being led by something bigger. Could that be why they go to church and we're like, I'm great. See, it's
I mean,
could it be that,
I mean, in that what you're saying, there's a component of dependence and accountability that also plays in there. Is there an association between, because when you follow, there's a component that's linked to taking absolute responsibility. No, when you follow, there isn't rather a component of accountability. You can relinquish accountability because to some degree you are not the leader that is responsible for all. Is there something in the woman's psyche, to Drew's point, that makes ladies more susceptible to that, to the church environment?
I'll throw in something just to give you a reminder of this type of scenario. So with terms like what will be is you're leaving it to another power. It's not, you don't have to take accountability. It's what will be. I'm not in control right now.
Yeah.
So you allow that to occur.
Very interesting. Yeah, no, I
Super.
mean, I'd love to carry on part of the conversation online. I'm saying, so guys, those that are watching, let's continue the conversation in the chats. On TikTok, on YouTube, let's continue it. But I mean, from a closing perspective, I mean, I would definitely say there is a lot sitting in the psyche of why women are at church. I think now bringing it to our part, right? Because we're not talking for women, we're talking for men.
Yes.
Bringing it to men, life is long. You do need but life is long, and the need for you to ground yourself in something that is higher than you is is without saying important, right? You're not a complex creature on your own accord because of evolution. It's because I believe that there's someone more powerful that has created you and everybody around you. So as a man, arc yourself. I think as ladies, let's as guys, let's try to lead our ladies also. And spiritual leadership is also where it starts. So let's be leaders in all fronts that also then include spiritual leaders. Let's provide for our ladies for the needs that they have that include the spiritual ones. And let's also defend our ladies. I mean, there's a lot of men in spiritual roles that are taking advantage of our ladies and our women because tina madoda sikho esontweni. So umuntu mekakhipha iduma athi woza
Uyabheda lo.
uyabheda lo.
We must tell them.
And that's our responsibility to also, gatekeep against other predators that want to prey on the people that we love.
Yeah.
All right.
That's a good one.
There were
Guys.
men that were doomed, by the way.
There were men that were doomed.
Yo, they were doomed, all right.
They were doomed.
All
all
puns
right.
intended.
There were a
All
bunch
puns
of men that
intended.
were doomed.
I think those was yeah, they needed it. They needed it. Bayad. Ababoni ukuthi as a man now kumele ubone ukuthi amanini nani. No, they must watch.
Be a man.
Be a man. Realize, see. Yeah, be a man. All right. On that note, it's been real. Thanks for watching. Subscribe and like. Please follow us, guys, and obviously let the chats continue on social media. Or follow us on OSW_older across all platforms.
Spadana.
Nice. Too nice.
Dark days can't hold